Blackburn
Enterprises.
You're coming to our channel. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me. Back with a new movie review. I'm JB.
I'm Ken.
And today we're going to be reviewing
Devotion.
Yes, Devotion. This movie is directed by J.D. Dillard. I know him in previous movies he's directed, such as...
I don't know.
You don't know?
What did he direct?
It's because you're a horrible human being.
Oh my god.
No, he actually directed Slate.
Slate. Oh,
which I don't think you... Did you ever watch it?
I don't think
With Jacob Lattimore?
I remember you telling me about it.
Yes, I did tell you about it.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, you was a horrible human being. All right, let's get into those actors and actresses. This movie is starring Jonathan Majors.
Yes.
I know him in previous movies such as...
Oh, well, I wasn't going to say a movie. I was going to say he was in Lovecraft Country.
Well, yes.
It's a show.
He was definitely in Lovecraft Country.
Yes, he was.
Really, really good show.
Very good show.
And it was in our top 10 best black TV series of 2020.
Absolutely.
Yes. We're so behind on it. Yeah, you want to check on that? Check that out. Make sure you do. Also starring in this movie, we have Glen Powell. Might know him in previous movies such as? You know anything. She did not come prepared today.
I did not.
He believed he was in Top Gun.
Oh, yeah, we said that.
Yes,
he was in Top Gun.
Yes,
he was in Top Gun.
Maverick.
Maverick, yes.
To be specific.
To be specific, yes.
Definitely Maverick.
Maverick Top Gun.
Yes, Maverick Top Gun. Okay. Also starring in this movie, we have Christina Jackson. Might know her in previous movies such as?
Did she also play in Lovecraft Country?
I don't think so.
Oh. She looks so familiar.
Yeah. I think looking at her filmography, looks like she's in a couple of things, couple of series here and there, but
okay.
Lovecraft Country was not one of them.
No.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into that plot.
Yeah, so this is based on a true story of the first black aviator that was able to fight in the Korean War, and he, it's set in the 1950s, so you can imagine what he went through to get where he is or was.
Yes, she said this is set in the 1950s, and this is chronicling particular life of Jonathan Majors, which he's acting as the first black aviator, Jesse Brown. And he's, as she said, it's the 50s, so, there's a lot of things that are going on. People have to get used to black people becoming the first. Even in 2022, we still have a lot of first black accomplishments. So you can only imagine how things are back then, and he's trying to figure out a way to navigate through this and still be able to accomplish his goals as being the first black aviator in the US Navy.
Yes.
All right, so you want to go ahead and get into your likes.
Yes, I love the suspense of the movie. It was my very first like that I thought about as I was watching it. Every moment was suspenseful from the time the movie came on to the time it went off. It's just like, what is about to happen? What are they going to deal with? What is he going to have to deal with the whole time? That's all I thought was,
I mean, it definitely is suspenseful. I feel like it's more suspense once the second act begins and you get to see, obviously they are aviators, so they, have to go on different missions and see, what those missions are gonna be, and what are they, what's gonna be the goal, what it is that they have to achieve, are their lives gonna be put in danger, all those different things. Any other likes?
Yes, the acting was phenomenal. Jonathan Majors always does a great job in whatever he's in. So he was believable. I thought he was the person, like he embodied him and his emotions, and everybody else that was his supporting actors, actresses, they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, kudos, to Jonathan Majors. He continues to show that he is one of the top tier actors in Hollywood, period. Mm-hmm. And what he's able to do, and I think the type of characters that he chooses, and what he's able to do is he strikes a balance between a masculine man and showing those, showing those weaknesses, you know what I'm saying? Yes, or vulnerabilities even within those type of men. The type of man that he generally plays is those ones those take charge, those ones that's gonna handle a situation, that's gonna handle a problem, that's you're gonna come to, that's gonna have solutions. But even within those type of individuals, there are times and there are situations where, you know, they don't feel the strongest or they don't feel the best. All right. And the way that he's able to humanize the particular characters that he has, and it brings you in, because the more he's able to humanize them and the more you're able to identify with the character, the more you'll be able to understand, and you're just rooting for, you know, his character and, you know, everything that it is that he's doing.
That's true.
So shout out to Jonathan Majors.
Yes.
Any other likes?
I think that's all my likes.
It's not a lot of likes. I'm gonna say the movie seemed realistic.
Oh, that's
So the realism of the movie to me, what can happen, and I guess to give a comparison, I mean, obviously another movie is Top Gun, that Glen Powell, you know, is in, and you can tell Top Gun is a Hollywood movie. It's made for Hollywood. It was definitely a blockbuster movie. It's made to be seen by millions and millions of people, and you can tell just like certain things that happen in the movie, it seems Hollywood. And as compared to this movie, it just seemed more down to earth. It seemed more realistic, you know, when characters are doing, and obviously it's based on a real you know, on a true story. And even if sometimes people can take the true story and they could, you know, they can play with it how they feel the need to. However, I don't believe the director did that. I think he continued to keep that grounded feel to it, make it seem realistic when it comes to the family and friends of the different individuals in the movie. Even, you know, the scenes and the dialogue between characters and what they're talking about and how they're choosing to discuss it. I think that's overall what made it realistic.
And to piggyback off on that, that is also is the historical lesson that I received while watching this movie. I was talking to my dad, which is very knowledgeable, and he's older, so he knows a lot about. He lived through the 50s, 40s, you know, those times where segregation and integration was happening, and he didn't even know who he was. And he was like, we were talking about that, like, people don't talk about him. You would never know who he was unless they, if they wouldn't have created this movie. So the historical aspect of this movie is awesome. Which is
another plus, the fact that, you know, that they brought this to the screen, to, you know, in order to teach us history, and to, you know, that Jesse Brown, you know, goes down in history, and, you know, to understand who he was and what he had to go through, and, you know, being the first black aviator in the US Navy, and actually knowing who that is. And so, you know, kudos to J.D. Dillard, you know, from...
Sorry. I try to hold it in.
Kudos to J.D. Dillard for choosing to, you know, to bringing this to the big screen, and, you know, Jonathan Majors, you know, executing the way he is, and going to the realism and going to the historical aspect. I think another aspect that they were able to do, or something they were able to do, is show what Jesse Brown went through, but obviously showing, you know, what he did, and, you know, motivate that character to accomplish great feats, but how they were able to do it, they were not heavy-handed with it. I think sometimes when you have movies like this, we have set pieces, period pieces rather, that are set at certain times, and of course, you know, when you have black main characters and they're going through things, sometimes that is just you know, that becomes the focus, is you know, it becomes, you know, the racism that they're having to deal with, and, you know, all the things that they're having to deal with, and that becomes the focus. And rather than that becoming the focus, that wasn't the focus. There was so many other things that became the focus, you know, based on and focusing in on Jesse Brown and who he was, and how, you know, what he decided to focus on and what he had love for, and how that motivated him to be the best person that he could be.
True. I agree.
All right. I agree. So, do you want to get into your dislikes?
My only dislike is this is a pilot movie, and I would never, like, just pick this movie. I said that, I think, when we did our Top Gun review.
She doesn't like war movies.
I do not like war movies. I do not like those type of movies. But it was interesting and kept my attention, so that's great.
And that's another thing. Like, it wasn't a negative for me, but I can see what some viewers that might be, because like I said, to me, like, one of my pluses was that it's more realism, more grounded, that for some people, especially in this new era that we live in, I think a lot of times people have short attention spans, and if things aren't jumping across the screen, people ain't cartwheeling, and people ain't cussing people out, and people ain't punching people in the face just for no reason. If it ain't constantly action, you know, they're necessarily not entertained. So that, you know, that I can see how for some people they may, you know, they can have an issue with that, or they may, you know, tune out or whatever, or they might seem like the movie is not as entertaining.
That's true.
Okay.
I agree.
All right, so I guess we're getting to our favorite part of the show, the rating.
I'm gonna give this movie a B+. I feel like it should be watched by everybody. I feel like it. Like I said, it's a historical learning piece, and that's what you go into the movie thinking about. Like, okay, this may not be the most entertaining movie, but it is. It's a true story, and it's somebody's life that happened, and they do a great job at depicting their life on screen and what they went through, and how important first Black anything, like how important that is.
Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and agree and give it a B+ as well. Like I said, the acting was top notch. The overall, that's another thing too that we failed to mention, is the overall friendship that is developed between Jesse Brown and the character of Tom Hudner. And Jonathan Majors and Glen Powell do an excellent job of showcasing that, and how the director did a good job of just building and putting those building blocks, and laying those building blocks and allowing the story to take place, and slowly but surely pull you in, and you know, and how they was able to showcase that and show this historical figure, and showing us all that we should definitely know who Jesse Brown is.
Yeah, and their families are still friends to this day. They said that, so that was really nice too.
Yes, they did.
You know, yeah.
All right, so if you want to go ahead and do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. We'd definitely appreciate it, and it helps out the channel. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, bruh, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'd definitely appreciate it, and you can see more videos like this one. And if you want to go ahead and do us another favor, you want to go ahead and hit that button that's shaped like a bell. You want to go ahead and do that, and get a notification
every time we drop a new video.
And if you want to go ahead and do us one more favor, if you want to go ahead and comment down below, and what should they comment?
What's the best historical piece movie that you've seen?
What's the best historical movie you've seen, and why? All right, we appreciate every single one of you, and I guess we'll holler at you.
Peace.